Hi developers, welcome back to Code Step by Step. My name is Anil. In this part of Laravel 9, we will talk about another new feature which is controller route groups. And obviously this is not available in the previous versions. So what we are going to learn through this video, first of all, we will learn what is controller route group. So I will just give you the brief introduction about it with official documentation. Then I will tell you how we are managing the routes in the previous version and how we can manage the routes with the controller route groups. I will give you the example here, and then we will test the controller route group with the browser and Postman also. Why we need Postman here? See, with the browser we can test only get type of routes. So if you want to test post methods, put method, delete method, that time we must have to use Postman. All right, so let's start with the first question. What is controller route group? So let's take a look on the official documentation. They are saying that you may now use controller method to define the common controller for all of the routes within the group. What does that mean? See, so let's say we have a controller, and before Laravel 9, so when we want to define the lots of routes, let's say in a controller we have the 20 functions and we want to map these 20 functions with the routes. So with each route we have to define the controller name and then with the function name. But with the help of controller route groups, we don't need to define the controller name again and again. We can define the controller name only once, and inside it we can map our route with directly with the controller functions. So in example here you can see that they are importing controller order controller, and now so we have let's say two routes, orders with id and all orders, right? So we can define only route once and controller once and create a group, and inside it we can map our routes directly with the functions, right? So if you got it, then that's really good. If you did not got yet, then don't worry, I will just give you example. So all right, so first of all I am just going to make a controller. So let me define here php artisan make controller, and controller name, let's say my controller name is products. Okay, I just forget to put a space here, and now our controller is created. So let's see where this is created. Inside the apps, oops, inside the apps, then we can go http controller, and here we go, right? So let's say it have some functions. So let's say my first function is product list, right? And I'm not going to show the product list here, so let's return here, because this is not a tutorial about database and something else. This is about the routes. So I'm just going to make some simple functions. So let's say we can say that product list, right? We can, with the same way, we can make another function, and my another function name is, let's say, add product, and we can return here some static data. Let's say product is added. Now let's make another one, update product, and we can again return here something. Let's say product is updated. Fine. So with that way we can have, maybe we have 10 function, 20 function, or 30 function, we don't know, right? So now let's map these functions with the routes. So I need to import it in our web.php file, because we have to define routes here. So just put here app http, and then we can define controllers, and after that products, right? So now let's see that how we are defining the routes in previous phase. So we can simply make a route here, route colon colon. Let's say I want to make a get route, and with the this is a list, right? And in second parameter we have to define here products colon colon class. This is our controller name, and in a second one we have to define here uh, product list, our function name. So let me match it with it. Yes, this is perfectly matching. So now we can test it. So let's say I am putting here list. Okay, I need to start PHP artisan once. Artisan serve. All right. So we can see that still this is working. This is the previous way before Laravel 9. So let's say I have some more routes for add product and for update also. So we can copy this function name, add product and update product also. Update product, right? So I hope all these were working fine, and update also. You guys can see that. So let me just zoom it out. You guys can see that all routes are working fine. So this is the way that how we can make the multiple routes with the same controller in the previous versions. This will still work in Laravel 9. Keep in mind, this will still work in Laravel 9, but there is another way also to handle these duplicacy. What we can do, that we can just make a route with controller, and we can define our controller name, which is products colon colon class, and this is basically a group of routes. So what we need to do here, we have to add groups, and we can make a callback function, or you can say that we have to pass a function as a parameter, and inside it we can define this old route with a similar way. So I am just copying it and pasting here so that we can save the time. But now we don't need to define these class names, or you can say that controller name, because this is already defined on the group. Let me remove that one also, and you will find that they all will still working fine. There is a no issue at all. Okay, we have issue, but I guess that will be the another one. Yes. So update is also working fine. Add is also working fine, and after that list is also working fine. There is no issue. So when we have lots of route in a same router, same controller, we can save our time, or we can remove the duplicacy with the code like this in the Laravel 9. This feature we basically call it controller route group. So now let's see that how we can test it with the Postman also. So let's say we have a post and put method, right? So we can simply just let's say we have add. This is still working fine with the post, and let's say we have a put method for update. Oops. And this is still working fine, right? So that's all for this part, and that is all about Laravel controller route group. If you still have any kind of confusion, you can ask me in the comment box, and please don't forget to subscribe my channel and like this video. Thank you so much.